total here. So how's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. So over on total, we did try to get the breakout of our golden pocket, but we got rejected. We do have indecision here and on Bitcoin, so we will get into that. Our momentum is starting to round away. We'll get rid of this. Our momentum is starting to round away. Stochastic is starting to fall. RSI wants to pull back. That VWAP is in the bearish territory, and it does want to round away from that neutral. So I would watch. If that VWAP does reject that neutral, that yellow wave, we will see momentum continue to fall, and that green dot on that blue wave will get reversed, and we will see our money flow go from trying to be green into the red under that zero and push our price action lower. And remember, total does lead our altcoins, so if total sells off, we would see a rejection on our altcoins. This could be that shoulder, head, and shoulder we warned about. So again, that would break us below that 602 and possibly push us back down. So I would exercise caution. We did invalidate this previous pattern. We did not delete that, but we will now. So I would watch if we break that 300 EMA, our black line, then it's likely we would continue lower and continue to break down. Our stochastic does have our orange above blue, and it's starting to push away. RSI is selling off, momentum is rounding, our VWAP is breaking bearish, and money flow is bullish, but the VWAP continues to weaken. Our momentum will continue to weaken with that red dot, and our money flow will start to go from green to red. So we'll go over to Bitcoin futures for the daily here. We did try to break forward here. We do have a pretty decent move on Bitcoin futures as it did just open, and this is a response to Bitcoin. We'll have to see if there's any kind of gap. Remember, gaps do have the potential to bring you lower. We did fill this gap previous that we made when we did get our drop down. So I would exercise caution. This could be our third touch to the top. And if we pull away from here, that's where we would see that further sell-off. Our stochastic is starting to drop down. RSI does want to push up. Momentum is trying to gain strength. That VWAP is in the bullish territory. We did get a weak low. So if VWAP can maintain a bullish trend here, momentum will push forward and money flow would gain strength. That would help push Bitcoin up as well. Remember, futures does lead Bitcoin. Over on the 4 hour, we have an inverted hammer. So this inverted hammer can bring you lower. It's also a long upper shadow. So this long upper shadow shows that bulls tried to run up, bears brought us back down. So I would exercise caution. That could end up dropping us away, making us fill that gap, creating that shoulder to push us down from that slanted head and shoulders that we covered yesterday. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is pulling back, momentum does want to round, VWAP is pulling back, and money flow is bullish, but if that VWAP breaks our neutral, momentum will break away and money flow would weaken. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a bearish engulfing candle that does want to form, so watch if that does form. Remember, that could bring us lower. Momentum is rounding, stochastic's falling, RSI is falling, VWAP and money flow do want to break down, so if that VWAP rejects this neutral, momentum will break down and money flow will continue to weaken. That would weaken those higher time frames and cause further bearish momentum. On the 1 hour, we do have a bearish engulfing candle. So again, exercise caution. That's a red candle that's as big or bigger than the previous green candle. And if followed by another strong red candle, we could see a breakdown. RSI does want to push away. Stochastic does want to round. VWAP is pulling back. Money flow is bullish, but overall, we could continue to break if that VWAP does break that neutral and continues lower from here. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did try to get our breakdown. We did try to whipsaw up, so we have some indecision on the charts today. We do kind of have a bounce up and down. We will delete this because we did get our breakdown. We did also try to hit the top of our channel and we got rejected. We could look at the 1 hour to see what happened first. So we did hit the top, then we got our rejection. We did kind of equalize a little bit, but we are overall dropping away. Our momentum is breaking down. VWAP does want to push down. Money flow is pulling back, and stochastic does want to round. So overall, the 1 hour does look like it could break down. And if we lose the support range that we're on right now, that 68, that psychological support resistance, then it's likely we would see another push down to our 300 EMA and possibly that 63,120. So over on graph for the daily, we are struggling to break through our EMAs, so we have indecision here, much like the rest of the market. We have a long upper and lower shadow. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to pull back. Momentum is dropping. VWAP does want to round, and our money flow is pulling, trying to push forward. But if that VWAP rejects, we will see momentum continue lower, and money flow would break down. That could give us a red candle. So watch if we follow this indecision doji with a red candle. then it's likely we could continue lower. Over on the 4-hour, we are rejecting several EMAs, so we are kind of whipsawing around doji after doji. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is weakening, momentum does want to run with the red dot, VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is trying to push bullish, but if that VWAP continues to weaken, momentum will continue to weaken with that red dot, and it will push down and give that money flow further bearish momentum to deepen in the red and create more bearish pressure for that daily. Over on the 2-hour, we did hit that 300 EMA and we got rejected. Another example why that EMA is a critical area to watch. Again, that's on our free Market Cipher A and B. Everything we have here is free. So we have Market Cipher B and Market Cipher A. They're the free versions we use. Momentum is pushing down. VWAP is favoring bearish. We did try to break bullish, but now we broke that neutral, causing momentum to drop. And if that VWAP stays under that neutral, money flow could start to follow. Over on the 1-hour, we did reject that EMA here as well. We do have a mini gap here that we might be able to microscope zoom in, but I'm not really going to call it much of anything. RSI does want to pull back, stochastic is rounding, VWAP does want to break that neutral, money flow is starting to round as that momentum is favoring bearish, so if that VWAP breaks our neutral, momentum will reject and money flow would pull back. That would weaken those higher time frames, so I would watch for that and exercise caution if that does happen. Over on Ankr for the daily, more indecision. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is trying to push forward, momentum does want to gain strength with the green dot, signaling that that VWAP does want to break our neutral. So that's a little annoying. VWAP does want to break neutral, momentum does want to push forward, money flow is trying to break up. So we do have the potential to run forward if we can continue with bullish momentum here. Choking on my words now. So our stochastic on the 4-hour is starting to push down. We have orangeable blue. RSI is dropping. Momentum does want to round with the red dot. So watch out as that could start to weaken and cause money flow to sell off. Our VWAP is breaking into bearish territory as well. So overall, we are seeing some bearish momentum just above this 3079. Remember, we do want to push forward and run up if we're going to push up to that 3485. Otherwise, we will revisit that 2883 like we mentioned. Our RSI does want to pull back, stochastic is starting to fall, momentum is dropping, that VWAP is in the bearish territory and it does want to reject. If that VWAP does reject, momentum will continue to weaken and money flow will continue to weaken as well, and if it flips into the red, we will have a bearish trend reversal. Over on the 1-hour, we did break to our 300 EMA and we bounced forward. That is positive. If we can retest this 3008 and then we push forward from there, getting a higher high, then we could continue forward, or if we can continue off these EMAs and then make a higher high from here, that would be positive. However, if we break that 3079, then we could end up breaking lower. RSI does want to round away, stochastic is starting to round, VWAP does want to break down, momentum is rounding, and that money flow is bullish, but if that VWAP and momentum round here and break down, money flow would start to weaken over time. Remember, the momentum does take time and the money flow takes a little more time, so after several hours it's not going to happen right away. So over on the daily for XRP, we do have a little bit of consolidation going on. This could be a bit of a bull flag if you want to call it that. I could try to break that 67, but we would need to see the rest of the market have some bullish sentiment in order to see that. Over here, our stochastic is starting to fall, RSI does want to round away as a result. VWAP does want to break that neutral, momentum is rounding away, and money flow is starting to pull back, so I would exercise caution. Over on our 4-hour, we do have several EMA rejections. I would exercise caution. We keep seeing these indecision candles. RSI is pulling back, stochastic is starting to round away, so watch if it flattens and breaks down. VWAP does want to hold bearish, momentum is breaking down, and money flow is about to follow. If that VWAP cannot get above that neutral and push momentum up soon, we will see money flow flip into the red, and that will start to weaken the 4-hour and the daily. Over on the 2-hour here, stochastic is trying to push down, RSI is following. VWAP is trying to push into the bullish territory, but we have a lower low, so watch if we reject and get a lower high. If we do, we would have a bearish trend, and that bearish trend could cause momentum to continue to favor bearish, reject that green dot, and cause money flow to break down, which would result in price action pushing lower. Over on the 1-hour, we did push on that 300 EMA. We did try to make a bounce right around that 58 cents, so that is positive. RSI is pulling back, stochastic starting to round away. Our VWAP is starting to break through, so watch that VWAP does want to round. If it does break through that neutral, we would see momentum round, money flow would break down, and price action would follow. However, if the VWAP can bounce off that neutral and stay in the bullish territory, momentum could push up and money flow could continue forward. So those are the two scenarios you want to watch. Right now, it does look a little more on the bearish side, in my opinion. Over on ALGO for the daily, we did get a bounce off our 1350 support, but now we have indecision, much like the rest of the market. We are failing to hold above these EMAs. Stochastic is pushing up, RSI is gaining strength, VWAP does want to push forward, and our money flow is bearish due to momentum pulling back and VWAP favoring bearish, so I would exercise caution here. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a rejection of several EMAs here. We are trying to push above these lower EMAs, but we're struggling to gain some momentum behind it. Momentum does want to round. VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory, so I would watch if VWAP continues to break down from here. Momentum would break down and money flow would sell off. Stochastic is dropping away. RSI is trying to push up, but if that stochastic drops away, RSI is likely going to follow. Over on the 2 hour, we stopped short of that 300 EMA. We did say that was a possibility. Now we're starting to pull back. I would exercise caution because this could set further bearish momentum if we make a lower low here with this lower high. Momentum is pushing back. VWAP does want to break that neutral and push momentum forward, but if that VWAP does make a weak high like back here and get a strong low, momentum will continue to weaken and money flow would break down. So watch if we can break that 300 EMA and hold. If we can't, then it's likely we would have lower highs with possible lower lows to bring us lower. RSI is starting to push down. Stochastic does want to push up though, so if that stochastic can hold above 30, RSI could start to push forward and give price action strength to help push to the 300. Our VWAP does want to round. Momentum is trying to push to the neutral, so if that VWAP can make a bounce here, momentum could break bullish and money flow could stay bullish as well. If we do stay bullish here, we would have that momentum to break that 300 EMA. However, if that VWAP breaks down here, that's likely where we would get our breakdown. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you all have a great night.